Okay, so I'm wearing kind of, it's not really a swimsuit, it's just like a little bralette with shorts. So anyway, because I'm going to apply the henna live, and I've done this before in a more controlled kind of way. So yeah, this is what I'm wearing. Like it's like a shorts outfit. Um, and we're just gonna be applying this live. So this should be fun. It's kind of different. Rather than wash my hair on camera because I'm like, I've done that before and I don't really get the point. I'm gonna show you what I do when I apply a henna thing. And it's gonna be really, disclaimer, this is gonna be messy because, yeah, henna can go everywhere. So I'm gonna go in the tub because before I had to wrap myself in trash bags. So here I am, pre-henna mess. You want to see what the henna looks like? Ooh, it's all mixed. This is cassia, a little bit of indigo, almond milk, some essential oil, and water, and coffee. Yes, coffee. So, without further ado, so I don't keep putting it off, let's get messy. This will be a different kind of live stream. I've done this before, but I was wrapped in trash bags. So messy. It is messy, messy, messy. I don't care. I'm gonna go all in. It smells minty. I added the minty essential oil to it. I have to keep this on my head for this power. I apply it with my hands. I don't care. And no, I'm not gonna be talking to you along the camera because I'm a big messy ball right now. And if you want me to talk to you, no, I'm making a mess right now. Sorry, doing hair treatment, but I just thought I'd show you. Oh, yeah. I need more control. That's the thing why I like doing it where I can stand up. Cause I like to have control where I can perch it on something. But I guess I'll just have to bend down and apply it to my head. Oh, yeah. This is horrible. It feels, it, yeah. I like how it's a little bit mess, as you can see. It is messy. But it's kind of like taking a green bath. This is the worst nightmare for people who don't like messes. That's okay. I'll be scrubbing my tubby tub. So, it actually feels really good with the peppermint oil on it. Oh my gosh. It feels so nice. It feels really, really nice. Oh! It feels so good. So this is henna. I feel like you're probably not supposed to rub it on yourself like that. This would horrify people. But you know what? I'm having fun with my henna green mud mask because I always get these ideas. So I'm like, let's do a live stream where we apply henna in a really fun way. And I can scrub my tub later. I'm gonna be busy. But it is a good hair treatment. It really It's great hair treatment. So I'm not into the people who are anti-henna. They just hate on Indian and West Asian stuff because, like, hey, I don't know. I don't guess you get that Europeans used to use henna too. Like, how do you think people have black hair in the 16th century in Europe? Well, henna and indigo. Just saying, like, henna's amazing. It feels really good though. I'm not gonna probably keep it on as long as some people, but it feels good. Ooh, it's really nice. It's like a green mask. And it's like shower, needing to be clean later. Sure. I don't. It's really good. I love henna. Henna is fun. Oh my gosh. I've never done it like this live before though. I've done it before, like over a sink where I was covered in trash bags, and I've done it before with the shower thing closed, but live like this, oh, no. It is messy. And most people put on plastic gloves and they get, especially if you get on your hair. I don't know, it kind of blends in with the color of my skin. It kind of just has a beautiful golden color. Like my skin has golden undertones, so yeah, it works for me. I feel like I'm giving myself a scalp massage. For sure. It is very messy. Ugh. Oh my god. It is. This is the messiest thing. Hey, I did this before the quarantine. Like, I've never gone to a hairstylist. I just do natural hair stuff. Like, that. Why not? Get off my finger. If I don't leave it on for like a long time, I don't care anymore. I'm just like, I kind of want the benefits of kind of. I just want the benefit of Henna. If you're wondering why I'm not responding to your comments, I'm a little preoccupied. This is just for you to watch and enjoy. Because I know some people are probably like, make a hair, but no, I'm just doing a Henna hair application. And this is more fun than washing your hair, by the way, for you guys. 'Cause, like, my hair is wet, okay? I'm partially wet with the henna, and my hands are green. I'm Grinch. Oh my gosh. It's fun. Guess we'll apply some more. Our lovely henna with a little bit of indigo, coconut roll, coffee, and essential oil. It's Essentially, it's just a natural remedy. Ooh. I'm gonna be cleaning later for sure. And then I just kind of, I don't think I got as much on this side, so maybe I'll just kind of go in very lightly. Very lightly. Just kind of lightly go in. Lightly go in. Just kind of massage it on my hair. Nice. Gentle. Like, it's so pasty. And fun. And green. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I look like the Cookie Monster right now or something. Or no, Oscar the Grouch. I look like her. Ooh. This is like going to a spot. Well, this is what we do in California because there's a shutdown. Like we bathe in Henna. I'm just kidding. Actually, no. I thought, why not just have some fun and apply it? Like some good. I have to compete it, and I can't go anywhere. I can't make a mess. Well, who cleans my bathroom? I do. So yeah, nobody can throw a fit if I have to be the one scrubbing it down, right? I don't do Henna too often, but I like doing it. And since I'm blind as a bat, I'm trying to get it evenly because the ends of my hair have like more henna on it, honestly, so I don't worry about that so much. It's just kind of like the roots part, but I do kind of glue it in a bit. I just don't want to tangle up my hair too much. But maybe I'll get some towards the ends of my hair. I can't read your comments. I'm covered in henna right now. I'm doing my mud. You ever wanted to see a mud mask at home? Henna mask at home. And yeah, I've never done it this messy before. Oh, I just don't have this. Oh, I don't want on my face though. Not really. My face. I don't want to be fumble. No, I'm trying not to go onto the tiles. I don't want to get. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Okay, let's do some more. Fun, green, Cookie Monster application. Oh, the mint though, I have to say, okay, you can do it so much more contained. You don't have to do it like this, people. I'm just having fun and I'm trying something different because I always get so stressed out. I'm like, oh my god, and it's gonna go here and here and here. And I'm like, you know what? So what if it does? You can clean it later. It's not the end of the world. I think I like putting it in the Pirates container. It's not bad. I'm probably gonna really let the henna dry out. I think I'm just gonna leave it on for maybe about an hour. But the mint, there are the studies like they've been vetted by academia that say mint oil is supposed to stimulate hair growth. And I think there might be something to it. I mean, I would have to do more research on it, but they do say yes, that is a case. But one thing I will say is it's tingly, and when you put the mint essential oil and the orange essential oil in, it doesn't smell as bad because henna's not the most glorious smelling thing on the planet. It's smells very earthy, but hey, you never have to go to a day spa. You could just have one at your house. You really could if you wanted. It's really stimulating my scalp now. So right here. And the fun thing about henna is when you go to wash it out, sometimes the next day you have to use Q-tips to get it out of here. Look, if you want to do it more contained, you'll be fine. I just hate worrying about a mess all the time. So I like to worry until later at night when nobody's up, and then we can freak out by the green mess that this will create. Because yes, it has a little bit on the messier side. It's not super clean as you can see. It does make a mess. It's not hair dye, but it's not a chemical either, so I kind of like it. I'm like, yeah, I like it a lot. Actually, I love henna. I just don't. I'm just usually a little bit too lazy to do henna. It's a great mess, and I kind of liked this outfit. Well, it's not really an outfit. It's like this. But I guess it might be ruined by the henna. That's the thing is henna does tend to dye your clothes, so I'm gonna try and rinse my hands. Since I'm done applying, I'm not gonna put any more on. It feels real good though. It's kind of like putting a clay mask on. It feels nice. So I'm just rinsing it out. Off my hands. It is messy, I'm telling you. I'm trying to push it out of the bowl. That's my ability. Just lifting off my hands. Oh, yes. Already. You can tell how to breathe it. So it feels really clear. And then I just kind of want to get some of it off my hands a little bit. Wipe some off of me. Because yes, this is not a beautiful application of henna that would go the way that a lot of people would be freaking out right now. Oh my god, why did you apply it that way? But henna, to me, like it feels really good. It feels very stimulating. I'm like it's kind of like a mud mask kind of way. And in the past, I'd put the trash bags on, and then I'd cover my head with the trash bag, and I'd have to stand stationary. So I'm just trying this as a new thing because I'm always inquisitive. I'm like, is there a new way that I could do henna that might be better? And it's interesting. I'm probably gonna throw these cloths away. I don't know. Washing them could be problematic, and we have a lot of rags we use for cleaning anyway. So I just found some that are kind of near the end of their life, but that's so good. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe it off my head a little bit, and let's see. I don't know if I want to step on the floor because I might make a mess. But I'm gonna just. Okay, so here I am. I've applied henna to my hair. Like, some people put on their eyebrows like this. You could do a lot of messy stuff with it. It's a little messy, just a tiny bit. Like, it's not clean. It's henna, right? But I just decided to try something different. I'm like, I don't. Yeah, I am going to, but this is. I decided to try something different. Okay. In the past, like I would line the kitchen when I would do henna, and then I would wrap myself in a trash bag. And I know they're always like, "Oh my God, you have to oil your hairline." But I discovered anyway, like if I got some henna on my skin, like my skin has kind of a golden undertone. So once I took a shower, like it really didn't change the color of my skin. Now, if you're really pale, I don't think I would recommend this. I mean, I'm lighter skinned, of course, but like if you're super pale, yeah, it might look a little weird. But it's not gonna look like a henna tattoo if that's what people are worried about. Henna tattoos are much more concentrated. Once you rinse this off, it doesn't look like that. And yeah, believe me, I've done this for time. So you don't have to be worried about putting henna in your hair. Like a lot of people act like, oh, henna is really bad for your hair, but it's a natural plant. How is henna bad for your hair? Like, my hair looks good. And I'm just tired of that. Like, I'm just like, I mean, a lot of people love henna, but there's some people they really like to hate on henna. So I'm like, well, I'm having fun with henna. Like, yeah. Let's see what some of the comments were. I kind of don't want to read them until I can wipe my hands off again. I mean, this is probably the messiest live stream you've ever seen. This is the messiest one I've ever done. Oh my gosh, I need to wipe the floor real quick. Like, probably like, why do you keep stopping? It's just because, yeah, I'm doing messy live stream, but I don't want the floor permanently messy. I don't really want that. So I'm gonna rinse my hands off again real quick. I'm here and just washing my hands. And what's kind of fun is you can wipe down the shower while you're here. Like, you could just do some cleaning. So it's kind of like a little bit of cleaning as I go as well. Wipe the henna off your shower. Get the spots off. It's cleaning as you go. So I'm like washing my hands. I'm getting the henna off my shower. Thank goodness nobody's up so they can't see how. No, I'm not gonna do that. This is YouTube, okay? I think you're thinking of a different kind of channel. That is not what we do here. I'm just showing you, like, okay. I did another. Well, you can find somebody that's into that. That's not my Drake Jelly Jam, okay? Anyway, yeah. So I've done henna live streams before, but I just wanted to do this one here because it's less messy. Well, it's very messy, but at least I'm not trailing it around the house. And yes, people do freak out about henna because henna can stain like absolutely everything. Like, yeah, it looks good. Like, henna's fun. Henna's a lot of fun, honestly. And you know what? If you want to add natural color to your hair, you can darken your hair. but you can't like lighten it henna and indigo or like almond powder. Like this is the way to go. Like I was talking about earlier when I was mixing the henna. Like I always tell my sister, I'm like, if you want to do like dye your hair, why don't you do henna? And she's like, oh my gosh, I have to use hair dye because I don't know. Everybody they buy into this commercial hair dye thing, but like in the past, people didn't have chemical hair dyes and they used henna. And I'm not talking about like PPD henna, but natural henna like this. It's fun. I look a little silly, but hey, I'm having fun. Yeah. Nope, not yet. I have to keep the henna on my hair for at least an hour. So I'm watching. I'm looking at some of the comments. Oh, yikes. Let's see. Kind of. Oh, I can make myself a different color. Let's try that. Oh, that's interesting. So this could be cleaning my shower line. Like, you can watch me in the shower. I'm just wiping down some spots. It'll come on. It's gonna get worse later. I don't even know why I'm bothering. It's just like, okay, you have this reaction, okay? Like when you get something goopy on you, and you're like, I want to get it off now. Like I don't want it on me. I'm just like, yeah. But I was just thinking right now in California, I don't know how it is. Well, I mean, I've read a little bit about lockdown in other parts of the world, but I do kind of laugh that the Germans and the French are panicking that, oh my God, we can't eat in cafes. I'm like, do you know for the last 7 months in California, like you can eat outside now, but you can't eat in a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, things are really closed around here, but I don't think I've eaten outdoor cafe. Anyway, it's super dangerous. Like if you don't want to get COVID, don't do that. Like don't eat at outdoor. Oh, I stepped back into the thing. So anyway, like don't eat at an outdoor cafe. Like why are people so excited? They're like, oh my gosh, like we have to go out to eat. Like look, I was kind of sad when like the pandemic started and blah 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 blah, but like it's pretty real. Like even the president of the United States got COVID, and I'm not his fan, and I'm not really Joe Biden's fan, but I'm just like everybody's acting so lackadaisical about it right now. They're like, oh, if you get it, you might survive. Some people have died from it. Like quite a few people have died. So I'm just going to be as careful as possible. I'm just getting the henna off. It's gonna get worse. Like once I go to rinse it off, like it's gonna splash everywhere on the shower. That's the thing about henna. Like when I've done it before, like people complain. They're like, oh my gosh, there's like henna powder everywhere. And that's one reason I don't like to do henna a lot. It's super messy. Now, if you had a really big backyard or something, maybe you do henna outside in the backyard. I'm just doing this to talk. It's not that kind of video. So yeah. But yeah, I would do henna outside. I don't think that you want to do it like if you have a really nice bathroom with people that are very obsessed with keeping it clean. I don't know. You and henna might be the tipping point for them. Like they might be like, oh my God, what did you do to the bathroom? No, it's YouTube. Really? Are you? First off, I don't do that. But second off, nobody's gonna do that on YouTube. You're in the wrong places, guys. Anyway, no offense. I do a hair channel. It's not what you think. I just want to like show how I apply the henna. Like a lot of people do hair washing videos. That's it. It's not like for that reason. It's just like, okay, no. Like, where are you? You're on YouTube. You're on their own channel. There are people that cater to you, not me. Anyway, I'm cleaning my shower. Yeah. Cleaning the shower. It's gonna get worse once I have to rinse this henna off. It's gonna be fun times. And I thought it might be interesting too to keep it on. I think when I start rinsing, I'm gonna have to turn it off because it would splatter everywhere, and I don't want that big of a mess. Besides, yeah. But people kept saying they wanted to see me wash my hair, so I didn't wash my hair, but I got it wet. Okay, I got it wet. I've done 2 hair washing videos, by the way, and nobody really seemed that interested in them. Like, or they would say, "Oh, I want it a different way." And honestly, like, I don't even want to wash my hair on camera. It's not that exciting to me. But I was more interested in showing like henna on camera because I'm like, this is actually something I find interesting. Like, I'm interested in henna. Like, I like henna, and henna's fun. So I want to talk about, like, are you like gonna vote in upcoming elections in the U.S. or if you're abroad, are you voting in an election? Like, I'm just curious. Like, are people doing that? I'm voting, but I want to make it real. Like, I want to be real about this and honest. This is like the worst election of my adult life in the U.S. Like, people thought, oh, Bush is bad. Oh, like, Obama could have been better. But honestly, Donald Trump's the worst that we've ever had. And I'm no fan of Joe Biden either, but this is a sad thing. Like, usually I vote third party, and I'm like, there's a third party guy that I can really get behind, and I'm like liking that person. And this time, I'm just, there's nobody third party running that's that good either. And I'm just like, why? Like, why is it so disappointing this time around? I'm like, it's just it's not a good election year, and people need to be careful. Like, just don't do things that are dangerous. Like, don't go to the park and puppy pile. Like, people are like gathering together, and I don't like agree with the government telling people, "Oh my God, we're going to shut off water because you're foolish and you're getting together." That's ridiculous. That's tyranny. Like, I don't agree with that. But on the same token, like, just be smart about it. Like, don't go places where there's lots of people. And just because you're wearing a face cover doesn't mean that you're safe. Like, I see people puppy pile, like, when they're wearing face covers, they're getting closer than 6 feet apart, but people don't wash their face covering enough. You pretty much either have to wash it and boil it every day, or you need to wear a paper one that you throw away every day. But people are like going outside with like, they're wearing a paper mask and it looks dirty. And, you know, it's supposed to be a barrier. And I'm just like, I'm just saying be safe. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like, we got to live our life now. This is our life. But if you want to live a healthy and long life, just be safe. Like, don't do things that will endanger yourself. And another thing too, like, I don't really love wearing the mask, like, because it makes me feel like winded. Because if you're really physical in it, I just don't enjoy it. So it gives me less incentive to go to public places if you have to wear a mask all the time. It's like, I'd rather stay home most of the time. Like, yeah, I used to stay home anyway, a lot, but I don't think I'm gonna be going out that much. Like, why? Like, what's the point? I don't know. And I'm working on my creative things, and I'm just doing fun videos like this one because I wanted to show how henna can be applied to your hair. So I guess that's all I have to say about the election and my thoughts on that. Like, everybody's really strongly opinionated on it. They think, I don't believe a political leader is going to mitigate the risk of a virus, because you can't separate people. You can't keep people apart. And in population dense regions, it's much harder to control a virus, a pathogen. I mean, just look at the history of the Black Plague. Like, even if you take every protocol and you're really safe and you wear a mask and you social distance, like, unfortunately, there will be a time and place people have to eat, right? And people sometimes will socialize, like, but living in a city kind of makes it more dangerous, and that's unfortunate. But population density, when it comes to pathogens, it's just, those are breeding grounds for them. So Like if you live out in the country, you're almost better off. But then the thing I hate about this is that there are people in LA. They never liked I live in the Inland Empire, the inland part of California. They didn't like us. Like people think like when they think about California, they think, oh, LA, it's so glamorous and that's Hollywood and like that's where the movies are. But they kind of would look down on other parts of California. They'd say things like, oh, we're no fun. But then they started like a few years ago hiking out like a Joshua tree, and they didn't respect it. They like would graffiti and do tagging, and even some international artists would come to our beautiful like nature areas and do graffiti and see that's art. And it was so disrespectful just to the land that they didn't respect nature. And now you have people moving from big cities inland, and they're like driving up home prices and because they don't want to be or I guess like look, I have nothing against people that have money to buy houses. It's not that. It's just like it's kind of like people change their minds so quickly. Like people go from oh like I don't like more rural areas. That's boring to oh yeah. Like I want to like be there because I want to be safe. It's just like but it's like people always do what's best for them, but they're not thinking about the repercussions. So I'm not I do think there needs to be some government regulation, but I feel like the Democrats and Republicans, neither one really care about people because if you want to talk about like government regulation, I think housing, cost of living, like in my state, that's much more important than like which president argues the best with each other because neither one were that inspiring. But yeah, that's just my opinion on what's going on right now. Most people are probably like, oh, that's boring. Like they don't care. But I care, and a lot of the people do care. And that's why a lot of people are not super invested in this election because there's just nobody running that's really talking about that. And every politician, Joe Biden included, they've become rich being in office. And Donald Trump is no saint, okay? He's using political office to get like free Secret Service to bolster his business. I don't respect either of them, but you can't say that really. But anyway, I don't even really care because I'm just like, yeah, that political debate, that was like watching a train wreck. And if anybody thought, oh, that was so inspiring, Donald Trump was like a martyr. And Joe Biden was like, oh, who do you think you're running against? And I'm just like, neither one of you were inspirational. Neither one of you are a good leader. Both of you have vice presidents who run the show. Like Kamala Harris is running the show for Joe Biden, and Mike Pence is much more in control than Donald Trump. But, let them have their illusions. And it makes me feel like, years ago I used to think, oh, people are ridiculous when they say they lost faith in the political system. Because I do believe in the American political system. I believe in the American dream of coming here with nothing and starting your own business and all that. But it's just become so much harder today. It really is. And I feel like the real issues that should be addressed are housing and why can't there be affordable housing and just so many other things and maybe education. Maybe that's something else we need to talk about. And I feel like people maybe need to apologize to people that wanted to homeschool their kids because they used to make fun of those people saying, oh, that's so hokey and weird and their kids aren't going to be socialized. But now that we have a pandemic, people are home, they may be doing it through a public school, but they are essentially homeschooling their kids. So I think in the years to come, if the pandemic hasn't slowed down, maybe we need to give families that option that, hey, if people want to create a charter school with a group of people and they want to educate their kids that way, that's fine. Like, give people the option to do that and maybe just not look down upon someone. That's one reason I kind of stopped being a liberal. No. I'm liberal on social issues. I like people to make their own decisions and whatnot, but that's actually more libertarian. But I just didn't like how some liberals, they would always kind of poke fun at people, like somebody that had a different belief system than them or somebody who did things a certain way. And there would always be this like this liberals claiming, oh, we are compassionate and we care about people and we like diversity. But there would always be this undertone that we're poking fun at people and these people are just hicks in the sticks and we are enlightened and we're so good. And I hate to say it, but I feel like it's kind of that attitude and that mentality that got Donald Trump to where he was. Because I didn't take him seriously, but apparently a lot of people took him seriously. Because people like populist bravado. Joe Biden does that a little bit too. Like I was kind of like, oh, he talks about the working class, blah blah blah. So I don't know. This election's not the best one in my opinion. I did like Obama. Like I didn't love everything about him, but I liked him at the time. Now I don't feel like I agree with him on everything, but at least he was very articulate, and you could see where he was coming from. But I never got that from Joe Biden. I didn't. And I like Bernie Sanders like a lot more than Joe Biden for sure. So anyway, those are just my thoughts on the election. And there's a lot of other things coming up. Like we have Halloween coming up, and I've never been like really super big on Halloween, but I did like a little edited video where I did the ghostly parade. That was kind of fun. Because people always say you need to make more edited videos on your channel. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make more edited videos on my channel. I'm going to like strive to do that. But I don't know, like it gets a little bit of it got a few views, but I guess I'd have to think of something far more edited. That's not what this live stream's about. It's about hair. And I'm basically waiting an hour until I rinse it out. So I'm just using the timer to time myself and kind of share my thoughts on that, okay? Yeah. I don't know, like people they keep telling me different things. Like it's just I'm like, oh, you get a lot of people like I don't mind people who appreciate long hair or make nice comments, but I'm like people don't get like this is YouTube and that people are just doing a fun video. Like I just want to have fun. Like don't take my fun away. Like I want people that just want to have fun and don't make you feel like it has to be a certain thing. Like yeah, okay, whatever. Like I would rather somebody stop watching than like insist on that. Like I just want to show fun. Like so this is the progress of henna. Let's show the progress so far. So I am like 41 minutes in, and as you can see, it has coated my hair. In the mirror, you can kind of see. Yep. So, anyway, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, yes. I might make a smoothie in the morning, but I just feel like I don't love smoothies anymore. They're good, but I don't love them. I'm like, why is it like I know smoothies are really healthy, but I just never crave making a smoothie because I don't know. I might make one, but I kind of just want more vegetable dishes these days, like with tofu. Like that's actually what I'm craving. And I've been watching just a lot of vegan YouTube, and a lot of people they argue with each other. And I would never call anybody out, but there's this YouTuber. She thinks everybody should just eat fruit all the time. And she's like, why would people want to eat vegetables and tofu? Well, vegetables and tofu and a little bit of rice or a little bit of bread, just a little bit, not tons of it, actually are good because there's this one YouTuber, she's looking really healthy and she's like maintaining her weight goals. And I'm like, that's really good for her. And I'm just like, I think that's pretty cool. Like, I don't understand, like, why people think, oh, it's kind of like with the whole carnivore diet. Like, I think that sounds disgusting. Like, honestly, I know some people are like, but I thought the carnivore diet was so popular and people like this and it gets a lot of views. Well, here's my thing. Even if there's some sort of scientific research that shows, yes, eating the carnivore diet may be good for some people. I'm not I'm not here to knock that. It's funny because on my other channel I had somebody say, "Oh my gosh, how long have you been vegan?" But I have been vegan like for almost 7 years now, and I make a lot of videos on it. And this one person watched some of my videos, but he seemed taken aback that I don't eat meat, and I'm like, I don't know. Okay, the meat eaters need to chill. Like, I don't know what it is. Are you guys as bad as the militant vegans? I think like you guys are as bad as the militant vegans sometimes because like you always get this really hardcore meat eater and they're like, oh my god, like we can't get along because you don't eat meat and you're gonna come after me. But growing up, I was like semi-vegetarian. I only ate a little bit of chicken and my mom didn't even want me to. The meat eaters came after me, okay? Like, no offense, like they came after me for not eating meat, and I would just always be quiet and I wasn't outspoken about what I was eating. I would literally just go to a restaurant and order a veggie burger. And even people that were my friends, they were just like so like, oh my gosh, like I like meat. And I'm like, chill, you know, I'm not an activist vegan. Those people are often hypocrites, right? A lot of them end up eating meat again, okay? They're just into whatever extremist diet is popular. They're the people that are like the fruitarians, okay? Like the people I'm talking about. Some people do that long term. I don't know why, but like they go from 1 year eating all fruit. Oh, I love Beyond Burger. I actually have videos on my main channel. Well, not my main channel anymore, but Southern California Art and Mountain Life, where I show different things I make with Beyond Burger. That's really good. Like, I have nothing against like the flavor and texture of meat. Look, I had a cat that passed away recently. I so miss my cat. But my cat ate meat. I wasn't gonna feed my cat a vegan diet. No. And if I have a pet, I don't expect my cat to work. And even people in my family who live with me, they're not completely vegan. Like they eat some chicken and some pepperoni pizza. Like they're not eating steaks, okay? They're not hardcore meat eaters, but they eat some animal spectrum that are really hardcore meat eaters. They get upset with me about like not eating meat. And people that are extremist vegans who get upset with people. And I think it's funny because it's like somebody who is probably kind of like extremist and went fruitarian is going to go to the other end of the spectrum and go carnivore. But I want to argue that I don't think either is an enjoyable or sustainable way of eating. Like, okay, I get it. Like, some people really swear by the carnivore diet, but most people don't think that sounds very good. Okay. I do really like Beyond Burger. It's good. So most people are gonna be like, yeah, the carnivore diet doesn't sound good. Like, there's this one guy on YouTube. He used to be a vegan, and now he's a carnivore, and he eats raw meat. And I'm like, that sounds disgusting. Like, I guess like there are some people that appeals to, but most people, like even people who eat meat, they sometimes eat vegetarian. Like Lent, during Lent, people would eat some fish, but they didn't really eat meat. Like the whole idea of just eating one thing doesn't, yes, an omnivore. Like most people are omnivores, like varying degrees of omnivores. Like some people maybe are more meat heavy, but most of these people eat a variety of things. So I don't think anybody is really excited about a pure carnivore diet. And a pure fruit diet is just disgusting. Like who, like, okay, I thought it was a joke, like when somebody said that they were pouring sugar in a banana smoothie and eating that. I'm like, that's gross. And I do still think to this day, like, I maintain that's a little bit of a joke. I think it's clickbait, okay? Like, that person may have a smoothie, but they're not eating just that all day because now they eat pizza too. So, most people want to be in the middle, and I personally just don't want to eat meat. It's just not something that, yeah, it's really disgusting. Like, but it was clickbait, you know, and this was a few years ago. Like he wanted views, so like he would make a big banana smoothie and pour sugar in it. Maybe he really ate that. I don't know, but it's just nasty. But most people are both ends of the spectrum, so I think most people are in the middle somewhere, like varying degrees. So in my opinion, is I don't know why the way that somebody eats triggers you so much. Like if you're a hardcore meat eater and you're triggered by somebody not eating meat, that's kind of a personal issue within yourself that you need to deal with. And maybe you just weren't around enough different kinds of people growing up. because I had people like that I grew up with, but they've kind of evolved like since the age of 17. They're not like stuck in that mindset. Like a teenager might be like, oh my God, like you don't eat meat. Like that might trigger them. But most adults like are like, okay, like you eat what you eat, I eat what I eat. I don't understand why it's such a big controversial thing. But I feel like anytime somebody makes a big deal about how you eat, whether they be on the vegan side of it or the more meaty side of it, is it's a personal issue. I don't know. It's just like something I don't really understand. Like I don't understand extremes of any kind. I just really like consistency. But consistency is so rare. Like I like it when people are consistent, but I don't expect it of people. Yeah, that's because you were just like a normal person and it wasn't a big deal, and hopefully she was considerate of you. I think on YouTube you get a lot of extreme personalities and they just look, I don't care like what people post or put out there. And I always do find it funny when somebody's like on YouTube and they're like criticizing someone for being on YouTube, but yet they're watching somebody on YouTube. And I'm like, okay. But anyway, that's just my little discussion about meat. I'm not a big fan of eating it, but I don't really care if people eat it. We're talking about maybe getting a cat again when I move to a bigger place. I really do miss my little cat, but I used to do a lot of photography and artwork with my cat, and I share some of that on my channel, like in the community tab if you want to see some other things I create. And I have many other kinds of blogs. Oh gosh, I have to watch the tab. Like, yeah, I have many other kinds of blogs I create, so I don't just do hair. I ended up primarily doing hair videos because hair videos seem to get more views than like, oh, you drew a cat, like nobody cares. Oh, you cooked this, let's not watch. Like hair just seemed more interesting to people. So I would talk about hair, but I have to be myself too. So there are some people, they're very good at like having hair recommendations. Like I did a henna actually in my last video that's live where I show the mixing. I do explain like my method for making henna as of 2017. This was something different I tried tonight just to apply it freeform just to see how it would go. You know, so I have never really done that this much. But what I was gonna say is I have many other topics to talk about. It's not just hair. I'm not like somebody that's just gonna come up with hair tutorials. Like that's not really my thing. I just share what I do with hair that's worked for me, and I can't say what worked for you. But I think henna's great, and it really like okay. Do you also wear henna tattoos? You know, I've been interested because I don't ever want to get a real tattoo. Like, I've never wanted to get a real tattoo, but the only kind of tattoo that I ever thought would be interesting would be a henna tattoo. And I would probably do it myself if I ever get around to it, but I've never got around to that. But, you know, I am becoming more intrigued in making my own henna tattoos because, you know, they fade with time and I don't want something permanent. Whereas henna does kind of permanently stain your hair, but a henna tattoo washes off. By the way, this is not going to stain my skin like a henna tattoo. Anybody's great about that. It rinses off. But yeah, I have thought about that. I just never. They're very cool. Like I used to see, before the pandemic hit, like I've been thinking about henna tattoos, and there was this lady doing really beautiful ones at our local market night, and I almost got one. But I want to learn how to do it myself because I think I could design something I might like. So maybe I'll do that in the future. It might be something I'll do. That's the closest I'll ever get into the tattoo world, though, because I'm not a tattoo person. Like that's another thing too. Like I have nothing against people that have tattoos. They're interesting. They're cool, but I don't do tattoos. Like I don't know. I would if I ever do it. I will make a video about that, but I'll have to really get it all together and make that work. But I would definitely do a video on that. So this was just a free form of applying henna to my hair. I hope it's interesting to people. I hope people can see henna. Like, I guess my main goal with this video was to show henna will not ruin your hair. Henna actually enhances your long hair. Maybe some people have had bad experiences with henna, but pure henna is good for your hair. It's a hair conditioning mask. I don't do anything like the capillary schedule, like some people do all these different like hair masks. I don't do anything like that. The closest I think I do to a hair mask is like this. Just henna, almond milk, coffee, and some essential oils. Like I do different mixes, and it's always fun to see like what the different like how the red will come out. But I've been going for about an hour, and I'm wondering, does anybody have anything like they want to share, like about what they're doing right now? Because I want to make these live streams fun. Like I just like the freeform thing. Does anybody just want to say, hey, what am I doing right now? Like if you're up late at night in the U.S. Apple cider vinegar. I actually um didn't do a super edited video about it, but if you search for my videos, I do talk about how I used it back, I think in July of 2018. But I'm thinking I do want to do it again. I just haven't done it lately. I'm glad you're working. That's awesome. That's cool. I hope everybody remains safe, and I feel like this is a very challenging time, but I think you have to be balanced in your mind too. Like you just need to be careful and not do risky things, like as you never should. Like I advocate like being healthy in mind and spirit. That's actually why I do henna, because I think henna is much healthier. Like if you want to do as a hair mask or just add some fun color to your hair than like hair dye. But I hope everybody has a great evening, and it's late here and I'm up late. Have fun.